Welcome to A Chicken Named Paul. Today we're here to talk to you about despair and the power of rest.
How does it go? Double bubble, boil in trouble. Something wicked.
Whenever we're having a bad day or we're feeling a little low, a little under the weather, we call it feeling despair bear.
Full despair bear today.
If you're also feeling despair bear or you have days where you do feel despair bear, we need to talk more about how despair bear is an invitation. Despair bear is an opportunity. It's a weird time to be alive right now. It's a strange timeline to be in. We're consuming at a rapid rate. We're scrolling at a rapid rate. Like, there's just so much going on. There's global atrocities and prompting the question of like, how does one thrive in such chaos?
The idea of rest as resistance was created by Audre Lorde. I think she wrote extensively on how the powers that be don't want her to rest and don't want her to succeed. So like, for her as like a Black woman who is also disabled, who's also queer, it's like necessary for her to rest so she can be part of the resistance, and like how that is a radical and revolutionary idea. The way we talk about rest now is also because of her. This whole idea of like self-care and rest as a radical movement is actually deeply rooted in like a Black woman's experience.
But I also think it's important to just say, like, if you are feeling more tired than usual, that's pretty par for the course. I just think as humans, we're all holding a lot right now. It feels harder to get through the day now than it did, I would say, like 15 years ago. Like, there's just a lot happening.
I also think it's like a reasonable response to so many things that are unreasonable that are happening.
Yeah. That's actually a really good way of putting it. It's like a reasonable response to unreasonable things. I do think it's important to repeat that phrase of like, this is a reasonable response to unreasonable things, or my therapist taught me the of course mantra. So if you're feeling extra tired or you're feeling extra angsty or you're feeling really angry, instead of saying, why am I feeling this way? My therapist taught me to say, well, of course you're feeling these things. Of course, because of your own personal history. Of course, because of the current global climate. Like, of course you're feeling this way. Community and rest are two of our most powerful tools right now, I think. What kind of community would be helpful?
Any, I think.
Don't be alone. Don't isolate yourselves.
I'm very good at isolating myself.
I think the tendency to isolate is high with
Trauma
despair. What kind of community helps you if you had to pick? If we had to make a checklist for the flock?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know if I can talk on this.
Okay. I think any sort of community can be useful. I actually think gentle community, non-judgmental community. I think a phrase I also repeat a lot is to go where the resonance is. So to go where you are heard and seen, where folks are mirroring back to you. I think all those things are useful to look for when you're in despair bear mode. Practicing, and I say practice because it is really tough, but working to practice intentional rest without shaming yourself and without the extra guilt. Like, all of us have I think a voice in our heads that tells us that our worth is when we're productive, but that's not true.
I'm a hormonal mess right now.
I think when you're feeling despair bear, a treat is always welcome.
What kind of treat should we get?
What kind of treat do you want? People are saying online, like, treat culture is out of hand. And to those people, I would say, clearly you don't have trauma.
We have a treat economy. I wouldn't even say it's treat culture. It's a treat economy, because like, we can't afford a house. We can't afford the things that our parents and the generations before us could afford because of the structure and system of capitalism and the stage in which we exist in capitalism. So it's like, yeah, the small bits of joy that we have aren't from like having peace and being able to sit on our like front porch and have like sweet tea. You know what I mean? Like, our joy is like, well, I gotta pay rent. That's 3 times the amount, 10 times the amount that my parents would have ever paid for a mortgage.
The despair bear is showing right now.
So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get
a little croissant.
I'm gonna get a little almond croissant. Get fancy, not even the regular croissant.
No, almond.
A little almond.
The slivered almonds.
Maybe I get an iced coffee. I don't make it at home. Maybe.
Honestly, I've never thought about it through that lens, and that's a really good way of framing it. Tiff and I don't have a third space. If you've ever heard of this concept of third spaces, that can contribute to despair-bearism. So I think another item that we can put on the list is literally just going outside into the forest on a little trail, just getting into nature and allowing like nature to be your third space. I live by that. You deserve rest. You're worthy of rest. Take the rest that you need. If you want to make the rest intentional, you can. If you just want to rot on the couch, do that too. Tomorrow is a new day, but you're worthy and valuable even, especially when you're resting.
I think people have inherent value simply by existing.
Correct. And on that note,